Alright guys, today I'll be reviewing Great Escape in Queensbury, New York. This is actually one of the few Six Flags parks that doesn't have the Six Flags name attached to it, and I think I can understand why. It's very different from any other Six Flags park, and I'll explain why in this review. First off, I want to talk about the parking here. It's very weird. So you enter in, obviously, from either the right or left of the road. You see the park, again, either to your right or left, depending on where you're coming in. It's actually pretty cool how you see Steamin' Demon and Adirondack Outlaw right there. But then, again, you turn into the parking lot, you go past the Great Escape Lodge, and it actually has a neat-looking indoor water park. I really don't know what it is. I didn't look into it because I'm not really a big indoor water park guy. So yeah, we went past that and we got into this gravel parking lot, and this is so weird to see at a big corporate park like this. It's something you really wouldn't expect, but again, this is very different from a normal Six Flags park. So after this, you walk across a bridge, and there's your main entrance. It's not a very long walk, but we did get there like a half hour early, so we got a good spot. The main entrance for this park looks pretty nice. It's probably the best main entrance for a Six Flags park I've seen. Again, I haven't been to parks like Fiesta Texas, Mexico, but from what I've seen, this is a pretty good entrance for Six Flags. It does take a while, though. I noticed even in the VIP line, that moved pretty slow, which was kind of frustrating. And then in the other lines, it looked even slower, so yeah, I definitely recommend getting here early. If you're here by like 11:10 or something, like 10 minutes after park opens, it looks like you're going to be pretty much screwed. But once you finally get through the gates, you're greeted with a really nice entrance area, actually. It almost reminds me of, and my dad said this too, it reminds me of Busch Gardens Williamsburg's entrance with England, and kind of how it feels like a small, charming little front entrance with a bunch of little details, but obviously not as big or as good as Busch Gardens Williamsburg's, but it was really nice. Again, like, this is not something you'd see at an average Six Flags park. I'm definitely not getting that at Darien Lake when I go back today, that's for sure. But yeah, you walk around, you see all these like candy stores and stuff, that's pretty normal, but the buildings actually look very nice. It's pretty surprising. So now after that, let's get into the big reason you go to an amusement park, the rides. This is the one aspect where pretty much any other Six Flags park is better than Great Escape, is the rides. I mean, maybe Frontier City's worse, but other than that, I really can't think of anything that has a worse ride collection than this park, in the Six Flags chain at least. But it's not terrible, so let's go over the coasters. They got 6 of them, soon to be 5, because Alpine Bobsleds is getting taken out. That's kind of sad because I went here really just for this ride, because I would be back at some point, probably next year. But I went for my first time like a week ago, mainly for Alpine Bobsleds to get that credit before it goes. I heard it was the second best coaster here, so I waited in line for like an hour for it, and it broke down and shut down for the rest of the day, which was kind of annoying. But I mean, there's a reason they're taking it out. Let's put it that way. It's very unreliable. Apparently, like, it valleyed like on the mid course or one of the block sections at some point, and they had to like push it's very weird. If anything falls in the trough, they have to shut it down. It's not like the mock ones where they have the slotted troughs. So yeah, yet another design flaw by Intamin, but I heard it was pretty intense, but again, I can't speak for myself on this one. But their best coaster, from what I heard, was open. That's Comet, and it's a pretty fun wooden coaster. This definitely isn't PTC's best work. That would obviously be Phoenix, but it's a fun wooden coaster. You get some good flow to air time. It's pretty rough in the back, especially in the valley off of the second turnaround. That's pretty brutal. But overall, it's not quite a top 50 coaster for me, but it's up there. I like it more than Predator at Darien Lake, more than Jackrabbit at Seabreeze, Lightning Racer at Hershey, so, it's a decent ride. The rest of the coasters here, they do not have a lot. Their next best coaster, get ready for this, is Flashback, their Vekoma Boomerang. Yes, their Vekoma Boomerang is the next best coaster behind Comet, and it's not even that good of a boomerang. It's probably the second worst I've done, actually, behind Bad at Canada's Wonderland. It's, I mean, it's a boomerang. Good positive G's, not a whole lot else. It has extremely slow ops. It was just frustrating waiting in that line for 45 minutes when it should have been a 20-minute wait. So yeah, not very good. They have Canyon Blaster, an old mine train. This is a okay mine train, middle of the road, I'd say. Okay theming, not a lot of force. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Steamin' Demon. I've heard a lot of people say this is a steaming pile of trash or whatever, and that's absolutely true. One of the worst arrow loopers, which is really saying something because arrow loopers are not very good unless you're Tennessee Tornado. So yeah, very rough, not any airtime really, no positive G's, just pretty useless. And then there's Frankie's Mine Train. This is a Zamperla gravity coaster, opened in 2005, so this was their last coaster they added, which is pretty sad. Yeah, 2005 Zamperla gravity coaster. I've been on a ton of these without a kid, and the ride-up said you needed a kid, and he let me in because he's like, okay, you're a coaster enthusiast. I told him that, and he actually like made me wait outside, and there was like this other single rider who was a kid, and he was like, okay, you can ride with her, and that was like really funny. Yeah, it's a basic Zamperla gravity coaster, but that was really cool that ride op let me get the credit. And that's another thing. Besides Great Adventure, I'd say this place has the best staff of any Six Flags park. Definitely the nicest staff. Great Adventures are a lot better because they're nice and they're really efficient, unlike this park. But yeah, still, the ops aren't terrible here. I mean, Comet has really good ops. Pretty much everything else is bad. Steamin' Demon doesn't have bad ops either. But anyways, let's go back to the rides because they have a super underrated flat collection. And the headliner is Adirondack Outlaw. Oh my god, this thing, like, if this counted as a coaster, it would be in my top 15. I'm not even kidding. It's that crazy. You've got crazy ejector airtime, like, not El Toro or Skyrush level, but like good airtime going over every pass, and that can be taken forwards or backwards. Plus, you get a super disorienting flip, either giving great whip or hang time. You've got the great views at the top when you get stuck at the top while the other side's loading. You've got a long ride cycle, positive G's, the wind in your face. Like, oh my god, it's just got the full package for a flat ride. Like, I don't see any way this isn't the best flat ride in America. I mean, there's probably better flat rides in Europe, but yeah, this ride is phenomenal. Absolutely worth doing multiple times, even if it has a line. And for some reason, I hear a lot of people say this is weaker than the boosters and skyscrapers. I've been on a booster, a skyscraper, and this, which is a Vomitron now, and this is way better than the boosters and skyscrapers, in my opinion. Other flat rides they've got Extreme Supernova. It's a pretty good pendulum ride. Not tall, but gives good airtime. Sasquatch is a great SNS drop tower. They've got a Husk Condor, which are always fun. They've got a Chance Trebant called Pandemonium, which is very unique. I did that just because I haven't really been on a ton of those. They've got Blizzard, which is a cool indoor scrambler. Flyers. I mean, they've got a really underrated flat collection here. It's like there's a lot of flat rides that you'll want to do here, which is very good because I'd say there's more noteworthy flat rides here than coasters, if I'm being honest. Like, I honestly did more flat rides than coasters. It's kind of crazy. Almost feels like a smaller version of Canada's Wonderland in that way. How the flat ride collection is almost as good as the coaster collection. Next, let's talk about the food. I didn't get any food, but my dad did get a pizza and garlic knots. He said the pizza was pretty bad and the garlic knots were like the worst he ever had, which, I mean, that's not too surprising. It's Six Flags food. I would have expected a little more from this park, but I don't know. I probably shouldn't have expected anything. But that brings me to the theming. The theming at this park is so good. Oh my god. The back half of the park with like Comet, Alpine bobsleds for like another couple weeks. Like, that area isn't too special, although they do have an Alice in Wonderland walkthrough, which I did, and it's pretty short, but it's so unique. Like, you got to do it if you go to Great Escape, because it's not something you're going to find at any other Six Flags park, that's for sure. And they have all these little houses just scattered throughout the park, especially up front, that are like little kids' play areas, but they're super neat. They have like the old shoe. They have kind of this mini version of Cinderella's castle. They have the whale. They have a ton of stuff. It's so charming. They have a bunch of trees. You're definitely not going to get sunburnt here unless you're standing in line for Adirondack Outlaw, which I was. But anyways, they have Ghost Town, which is a weird walkthrough through like this cave. It's kind of more or less a shortcut to get from the front of the park to like Adirondack Outlaw and Steam Demon. But it's a really cool shortcut, you know? Like, they don't have to have that. But that's why Great Escape is so much better at theming and just immersion than any other Six Flags park. They have all these little things scattered around that just add to the experience, you know? Like, at any other Six Flags park, it's just, I'm walking here to get from El Toro to King to Ka, you know? But here it's like, okay, I enjoy the walk because there's all these little houses to look at, you know? And especially for the kids, like, if you have little kids, like, they're going to love this place. It's really cool. The water park here, I can't speak for because I didn't go in it, but my dad said it was pretty good. My sister liked it a lot. So if you're a big water park fan, I would recommend doing this water park. It's just, I mean, I prioritize rides like way over water slides, so I just stayed in the dry park. So overall, for Great Escape's final score, I'm going to give it a 641 out of 1,000. It's a great park. It's obviously not too great. The ride collection here is pretty lackluster other than Comet and Adirondack Outlaw, in my opinion. But those are two great rides, especially Adirondack Outlaw. And it's a really charming park. They've done a lot with this place to keep it up to the standards of feeling more like a smaller park, which is good in this case because, I mean, most Six Flags parks don't look very good. Let's be real. I mean, I haven't been to Fiesta, Texas. I hear that one looks pretty nice, but yeah, let's be real. Most Six Flags parks don't look very good at all. So I'm glad they've kept the small park atmosphere here. I'm glad they have all the houses and everything. It's not too great. I think it's number 4 in the chain because New England, Magic Mountain, and Great Adventure are definitely better because they have way better ride lineups. But I like it more than Darien Lake in America, honestly, because like they have better ride lineups, but this place is just so charming to walk around, and it's just an overall better time. So that's my review of The Great Escape in Queensbury, New York. Let me know what you guys think of this place down in the comments below. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.